We are pushing our country beyond aid. You should come and be a part of it and also make your dreams come true and forge your own legacy.
Welcome to another episode of Women at the Helm, powered by the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. We are absolutely delighted to be at Zondertech Ghana Limited, where we'll be engaging with Ms. Yang, a remarkable leader shaping the business landscape in Ghana. With a unique blend of Chinese and Ghanaian expertise, Ms. Yang has been instrumental in fostering strong business relations between Ghana and China since her relocation in 2009. As the founding director of Zondertech Ghana Limited, Ms. Yang has played a pivotal role in establishing the company as a key player in the automobile industry. Specializing in the assembly, sales, and distribution of heavy and light-duty vehicles, Zondertech stands as a testament to Ms. Yang's visionary leadership and dedication to excellence. Join us as we explore her journey and glean from her experiences and strategies for success. We hope that you will be as inspired as we are by her remarkable story. This is the Ghana Club 100 Women at the Helm. Stay tuned.
From the moment I created Zonda 2010 to now, it is getting to 14 years. We were first representing some brands from China. We were doing trading. Like for truck, heavy truck, we represent Sinotruk. Light truck, we represent Forland. For machineries, we represent Shantui and Liugong. For oil tanks and semi-trailers, we represent CIMC. For pickups, we represent Great Wall. For lubricants, we represent Sinopec. For tires, we represent Chaoyang Tires. When I started Zonda, I set the aim that there should be no Sinotruk parking on the roadside. That's why I started building my branches in Jolu, in Nsawam, Budobram. In Kumasi, I have 2, and I have 1 in Takoradi, and I have 1 in Tamale, to give the best service and supply the spare parts to our customers. I wanted to limit the road accidents, so we also started the safety training. We collaborated with the MTTD, DVLA, other organizations. Every quarter we do it once. every time we train at least 150 drivers. So I think that is at least some contribution I have done for Ghanaians. I hire some young people, they have no foundation to maintain a truck, but when we put them in my workshop for 3 months, 4 months, they know how to maintain a truck. Then it's since 2018, I had this idea. I said, I need to build assembling plant, because when we build assembling plant, we can offer more employment to Ghana youth, especially those who like finish the SHS. At least one Chinese engineer can train at least 25 Ghanaian workers. Our area is Ashama area. Everybody know what Ashama is. But when we built the factory in this area, we have been employing more than 100 Ghanaian youth. So today, even like the police commander, they came to congratulate me, to thank me that because of Zonda's assembling plant, even now the crime rate has come down a lot.
Everybody see Madanya as a mother. Any given day at all, you can go to her and she will talk to you. She will take your advice or whatever into consideration and solve your problem for you.
Miss Yanyan's human relations is very, very good. She's able to blend professionalism and also the human face together, whereby she treats employees well, also treats customers well, and all those that she come around, she's always wearing a smile. In our company here, we have expats. We also have a Ghanaian workforce of over 380, and all these workers work together as though we are all one family.
In the very beginning, nobody knows Zonda. It is GIPC, you put us in the forum. Later, you include us in the Club 100 for people to know, okay, this company is doing so well. The first time, our company, we got a number 49. It was really out of my expectation. Even when you organize some entrepreneurs to go to other countries to study, you even include me as a foreigner to go to other countries to learn. So GIPC, actually, you have put a lot of weight in Zonda's development. As a woman, never think yourself as a woman. When I started my company, I only regard myself as an entrepreneur. You need to have a very positive attitude towards life. Even challenges come, you don't regard it as a challenge, you regard it as opportunity. When I came to Ghana in 2013, so many Chinese women, they were whining. They said, Ghana, the society have too much prejudice against the Chinese woman. What can we do? I said, we need to do something to change Ghanaian people's impression towards Chinese, especially Chinese women. First, I went to University of Ghana because I want to understand Ghana people's mentality. So I enrolled myself for a 2-year program of EMBA. I was the only Chinese there doing EMBA program. And step by step, I got to know that Ghanaian people are so good. Once you have a good attitude, you know, I always tell Chinese, Ghanaians, they are friendly, they are kind-hearted, even to the blood. And I'm so grateful to Ghana to be inclusive. The goods we assemble in Ghana, we can export to other neighboring countries like Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Benin and Togo. So definitely we are going to be the market leader in West Africa.
Hello, my name is Iroma, and here at Roma Freak and Roma Plus, we subscribe to the SDG goals. We strongly support SDG number 5, which is gender equality, SDG number 6, which is clean water and sanitation, SDG number 8, which has to do with creation of good jobs and economic growth, SDG number 13, which also deals with climate action, SDG number 14, which deals with the preservation of life below water, and SDG number 15, which deals with the preservation and protection of life on land. Roma Freak is a Ghanaian fashion brand, and we use leather and African patterns or prints to make accessories, mainly bags. and Rama Plus is our social enterprise which uses plastic waste to also make bags. Rama Freak was established in 2017 and Rama Plus was established in 2019. But Rama Freak started in 2013 when I was in the University of Ghana, Legon, where I used to wrap bags and shoes. That was the beginning of Rama Freak. In 2013, in the University of Ghana, when I started wrapping the bags, people showed interest in it, so I started doing it for friends and family. And before I realized, people used to come to me with their bags and shoes to wrap. With time, I realized that there was commercial viability for it, so I decided to go into the actual production of it from scratch. And now we have Rama Freak and Rama Plast. Rama Freak has a variety of products ranging from the laptop bags to clutches to pouches to backpacks to corporate souvenirs, bag souvenirs to be precise, or leather souvenirs. So currently we work with corporate brands. We've worked with GIZ, we've worked with Atomic Energy, we've worked with Cocoa Board, we've worked with Oil Tanking. We do bags for them, we do souvenirs for them. So instead of having to import from other places, they do it right here in Ghana from us. We currently stock in California, and also there is an agent who picks up our products and she is based in Zambia. So Rama Freak started mainly as a business and friends brand, but now we happen to produce more than 20,000. We have a client base both in the corporate space and then individuals as well. Rama Freak is an all-embracing employer. We employ mainly women, regardless of their social status or educational background. We have a permanent staff base of 7, but we also provide employment indirectly to over 80 people. This ranges from the dispatch riders who deliver our products, to the people we buy the leather from, to the people who deliver the plastic waste to us, those who wash it, those who actually do the finishing of the bags, amongst others. While Rama Plus transforms plastic waste into essentials, Rama Freak says, be your own African. All these are just one thing: grow in Ghana, grow with Ghana.
When it comes to growing oil palm, I can say that Bob is not only the leader in Ghana, but even in Africa in terms of best management practices. Benso Oil Palm Plantation Limited, now PLC, is an agro-based company. We cultivate oil palm and produce palm oil for further processing and value addition. In terms of production, we are in the peak of the second generation. We have gone through the phase up to maturity and we have restarted the company. Employees on the company's payroll are just about 500, and in addition to that, we have small businesses, businessmen and women and companies that provide services, farm services. Some are transporters, others are harvesting contractors, others are maintenance contractors. They also have their employees who work for them. And so if we count back and add all these people who are also numbering about 1,002, then in total, direct employment, we are counting 1,700. Now there's also another 438 households and farmers who are members of our smallholder scheme. Now we don't like to call them employees because they themselves also employ others to work for them. So the cascading effect, I can say 1,700 plus another 438 with the multiplier effect of those they also employ. Within last year and this year, the tax that we have paid is around 5 million Ghana cedis. This doesn't include employees' income tax and things. This is just the corporate tax that we pay. In the community that we are located, we have a school which is one of the best schools in the region. The enrollment is about 1,000 and 25% of this number comes from the community around us. So that gives the communities around us the opportunity to also have the best kind of education that we can have. This is a very sustainable kind of partnership of corporate or investments with the community people, whereby the community people are not just workers, but they are actually part owners of the business. And we have a local team that is technically competent So all these constitute a huge selling point for BOP as compared to our competitors. All our oil from here goes to Wilmar Africa, the refinery in Tema. The main product that comes out of the palm oil is the fried oil cooking oil. So most of the soap manufacturing companies in Ghana, including Wilmer's own soap plant now, where Jamal soap is made. Previously it used to be Key soap when we were under Unilever, now Jamal soap. So all of these are coming from the palm oil that we produce here. And margarines, previously Blue Band, now new ones are coming in. Oil palm plantation agriculture is labor intensive. And in Ghana we have enough, and it's sometimes even more than enough labor to employ. So the market is also there. And that market is not only just in Ghana, it is in the whole sub-region. And now it's even wider given the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement that has come into force. We are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. And that keeps us also quite visible, and also being a company that espouses sustainable production. They don't only come with costs, but they come with benefits. Because our parent companies from Unilever's era to Wilmer's era have always been foreign companies with partnership with local investors. We have agreements you call TTAs. Certainly GIPC has been useful and helpful in helping us to structure these agreements so that they are legally recognized, and when we have to make any transfers, we don't have any problem with the law. Thanks to GIPC, the number of times we have come into the Ghana Club 100 has actually helped to put us out in the place for others to see. Invest in Ghana, grow in Ghana, grow with Ghana.
HD Hyundai Group is a global vessel maker, and LPG vessel and the container vessel, big vessel, and some the construction power plant and the chemical plant also. So have several, a lot of some the subsidiary like Hyundai Infracore, and we belong to one division for the construction equipment manufacturing. So Africa importance very increases. So we believe Western Africa will be core district and area leading global economy. So we are deeply considered where we need to open the branch office for our business. So we are compare Nigeria, Senegal, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and South Africa. But so in the Western Africa, political and the foreign matters, foreign affairs matter. Some the Ghana have a very stable situation for the safe and the political. Everything is we are perfect matching location for consideration of the branch. So I selected Ghana.
So basically, we are the original manufacturers of the Devlon heavy duty equipment in Ghana right now, supervising West and Central Africa. Devlon is not new when it comes to the heavy duty industry. Devlon is very popular. Previously, we used to be known as the Dosan, and we rebranded a year and a half ago to the Devlon heavy duty equipment. So when it comes to West and Central Africa, we are scattered all over West and Central Africa.
Few decades ago, Chinese and the Japanese companies expand the business for the Western Africa, right? They already have a strong presence. So Korean company a little bit late, but recently changes the global political situation, and some conventional and we have a strong EDCF or ODA project with the Korean government. So we have found the opportunity participating in Korean government EDCF project and to supplying our machinery for the construction equipment, a construction project, a service facility and the part distribution center through the partnership. We wanted to give you a preference to the Ghanaians and the user for our construction equipment.
When we get close to our dealers, we're able to give them the required technology, the required specification that they will also translate to the local customers that they deal with. So we are basically here in Ghana as a strategic position to control the West and Central Africa market.
Ghana have a very strong gold mining industry, so Taka area. So Ghanaian company already have a strong partnership and the sales network with a mining company, right? So on our from the maker side, it is a difficult to find the opportunity to connect directly to supply our machine to the mining customer. But we wanted to utilize from the Ghanaian channel and the distributorship, and we make a more population of our machinery for the Ghana mining industry. Also construction.
So what Devlon do unique as compared to our other competitors is that the manufacturers are right here in West Africa. So basically, if a customer should get to know of that, they are sure that there's always warranty in place, or there will not be any delay when it comes to warranty stuff. And then 2, equipment delivery will be very easy for them. 3, in terms of after-sales service support, if you are right speaking to the dealer through the manufacturer, you know that you are fully assured that after-sales service support will be smoothly delivered to you on time. Because in our industry, uptime is one of the key major things that we consider.
The uptime of our machines are very important when it comes to productivity. And so that is why we have this system in place. And so with the system, we are able to detect fault codes of machines and errors, and when you are to change filters and oils. Currently in Ghana, we have about 228 machines connected to our TMS system. And we have others in other countries where we are able to monitor and know the status and health of our machines. This system also helps us to monitor locations or GPS of our machines, and also able to calculate maintenance checks on the machines. With the whole of West Africa, we have our machines, Morocco, we have Ghana, we have South Africa, we have Ethiopia, among many others.
In partnership with one of the tertiary institutions in the country, which will soon be disclosed by the President, we are establishing a training center with this institution. And in this case, we look forward to transfer knowledge to the local men here in Ghana and within the West African sub-region. So we are doing all this to create jobs for the people of Ghana and West Africa as a whole. So together, we can grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana.
The first point I wanted to raise with Yofi, if he could respond to your point, Stephen, on land reform, and just give us what you think about that point that Stephen made, a very important one.
Land is always at the heart of everybody, and it's always a very difficult thing to resolve. And for us, it's presented sometimes what seems to be insurmountable problems, because in Ghana, lands are owned by families, by what we call stools or the chieftaincies, etc. And in the past, it was not uncommon to buy the same plot of land 3 times and still not know whether you own it or not. But we have gone many ways past that. And as I did mention, we are engaged in a digital mapping of every square inch of Ghana, to enable the new law to separate ownership from usage. And so that, we believe, in the short term should solve the problem of land. And we do recognize that quite a number of investors come in and they go through this lengthy process of acquiring land and getting title and all that. But it's a concern to government as well, So government is working assiduously to improve the land registration and land usage through what we call the Land Administration Project, which has been funded by the World Bank. As I speak, a few weeks before we left Accra, we had engaged the Land Registry and the Land Administration Office into seeing how we can clear whatever stumbling blocks they have into rapidly registering land and freeing it for use. And we are convinced that in the very short term we'll resolve most of these problems. We will not solve all of it because people still hold on to their land very, very, very fast. And it's in Ghana, interestingly, you see a plot of land that seems idle. You try going to put something on it and you see the owners emerge. And so for us, registration, the digital registration process is very important. But I can assure you that by the end of this year, we'll have a much smoother process, which will also integrate into our one-stop shop digital platform for registration.
So, Yofi, does that mean, to use Ruben's definition, that will happen very soon?
We are in a hurry, so it will. We will not soon, quickly.
Quickly. Fine. All right. Any points that, yes, please, over there.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, in the past few years, the cocoa price have been very high, and this has been very positive for Ghana. Unfortunately, the farmers have not benefited to a great extent of the high cocoa prices. And there is one reason and one name for that, and it is called the Ghana Cocoa Board. That is a monopsonist, is the only organization, is a state organization that buys the cocoa from the farmers and sell it to the global markets, and frankly is reminiscent of a centrally planned economy. That is not your fault, that is something that you have inherited, but frankly is a source of major inefficiency, is the reason why the farmers do not grow their business as they could, is a major source of corruption. Will and when your government consider liberalizing the cocoa sector and allow the farmers to market their produces directly, giving therefore the opportunity to creating local companies in the processing and partnership with other international firms? Thank you.
I think we need to look at it broadly, not just from the fact that it's a protected industry. But let's look at it this way. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire produce close to 67% of the world's cocoa, but we are price takers. That cannot be satisfactory. We produce the cocoa, yet we don't determine the price. And I think the best efforts that the government had in Ghana was to create an environment to also protect the farmers. But having said that, there have been reforms in the cocoa sector, but we are doing that very cautiously. And there is some liberalization, and we expect that gradually the farmers will be able to sell their own product. But having that monopolistic view from Cocoa Board has also protected the price and protected the quality. And as you know, Ghana produces premium cocoa, and it's because it's got that sort of support. The Cocoa Board has supported the farmers, has supported the products, but has very little input into the price. And so one of the first things our president did was to meet with his contemporary in Cote d'Ivoire and see how, just like OPEC protected oil prices, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire can form COPEC and probably protect cocoa prices as well. So we are getting there, but it's a gradual process.
Right, then we have a
Elsie Musu, and I'm an architect working in Accra and the UK. I've been working on President Kufuor's vision to transform Accra from a city which basically looks inland to a city which makes the best of one of Ghana's best assets, which is the sea. And we were promised in 2001 that the project would happen very soon. So I think we're probably looking at decades rather than hours and minutes. However, it seems that the time is right, and the Queen has just honoured David Adjaye, Sir David Adjaye, as the first African architect for his services to architecture. So it does seem that the time is right. Our champion, Jacob Obechili Lamptey, sadly died in the 15 years that it's taken to get to this point. So may I invite the Honourable Minister to look at the prospect of an MOU with the Royal Institute of British Architects, so that the many talented Ghanaian architects, including Sir David Adjaye, can help you to transform the coastline of Accra.
Let me respond briefly, and I'm sure you heard that I mentioned that there's a major Accra Marina project happening right now, and there have been quite a number of investors who have looked at it. I had to travel to Los Angeles to speak to a group of ex-Universal and Disneyland executives who run a private equity firm, who are very keen on the Accra Marina project. We also have quite a number of other big developers looking at it. Indeed, one of the developers is working with Atkins and Gensler to do iconic designs for the Accra Marina project. So this is not very soon, this is quickly.
Excellent point, thank you.
My question is, you mentioned textiles in your presentation now, and also gold beneficiation. So Dubai doesn't produce gold, but yet I know it does export jewelry. Number two, I remember during the 70s, Ghana had a thriving textile industry. I mean, mention Japan Textiles, Akosovo Textiles, to name by these two. But I think they are all going moribund now. And these days, you find a lot of cheap Chinese imports of Ghana-designed textiles on the market. So as a business-friendly government, what steps, since you want to promote beneficiation of our raw materials, what measures are you going to take to protect the local industries?
That's a big question. And for me, I would rather turn it around and say it's not about protecting but incentivizing them to be competitive, giving them needed support to be competitive. And it doesn't necessarily have to be protectionist, but also engaging in global partnerships such that they can participate in value chain businesses. Like I did say, the broader market is West Africa right into Africa. And so in, let's say, the textiles industry, in our visit to China, we spoke to a number of Chinese producers who would be happy to produce in Ghana for the sub-region. That would somehow solve the problem of bringing cheap Chinese imports into Ghana, because they will produce in Ghana at prices that will be competitive to what they produce in China. And that's the indication I got from them. But it's important for beneficiation. And yes, we are here asking for investment. But the investment, we're asking for the investments to go into Ghana. And that should also empower our business people. Because our business, look, at the end of the day, we have indicated that it's the government's priority to create jobs for people. The only way you can get jobs is to create more businesses. And because we have limited capital in Ghana, it's important for us to go out there to look for partners. And therefore, this is one of the opportunities we have to create sustainable partnerships for the market and for the West African market. And that's the way we are going to look at it. At the end of the day, I mean, if an investor here produces in Ghana, the goods will be labeled made in Ghana. And for us, that's important. If you invest in Ghana, you create your business in Ghana, you create more jobs. And that has tremendous benefit for the economy. And so it's important to understand that bit, that there are many ways of attacking the economy. Protectionism is one, but the preference will be to incentivize and to grow Ghanaian businesses.
Great.
You discussed how you're looking to promote stable electricity in Ghana. But for many of us Ghanaians, we might be aware of or too familiar with the phrase light off. And for companies, and more particularly SMEs, having to stomach the cost of producing or manufacturing on generation sets is possibly too burdensome or not feasible at all. And you mentioned how the government's been taking aggressive reforms, but what are these reforms? I mean, can you provide greater clarity on what steps have been taken to actually provide a stable electricity supply for foreign companies and for domestic companies?
Okay, quickly, just to answer, what are the reforms? I did indicate that we are looking at reforms that will remove the front load cost for investors and businesses. We are looking at ease of doing business reforms, including taxation, including incentives, including registering businesses, including legal reforms that will make judgments quick in commercial cases, etc. There are quite a number of indicators. I'm sure you know the World Bank doing business indicators. We attack them one by one. That's how we are going about it, and compare ourselves with our peer countries. Also, in the electricity space, and our Deputy Minister of Energy and Power is here, and I'm sure he can talk a lot more about solutions that we are looking to bring into the market, including off-grid renewable solutions of solar and wind, which we believe are much cheaper because the prices of those things are going down pretty much quickly, and therefore can provide cheap sources of power for industries in the hinterlands.
It's definitely not people with political connections, because if you really know Ghana well, you know that all of us are related to important people one way or the other. So most people will qualify. The real thing is about adding technical value. I alluded to the fact that following the right regulations, etc., is very important. And so those are the things that technocrats or technically inclined local partners would understand more. Also, just people with experience in business. Business is, the standards for doing business are the same globally. You know, as a Ghanaian, no matter how successful I am, if I was to open a business in the United Kingdom without at least an accountant and lawyer, I would fail miserably, you know. And those are your base level local partners when you start in a place like this. So I hope that answers a little.
As a foreign investor, I would say in selecting a local partner, a Ghanaian partner, you need to find those that are political entrepreneurs, those that can navigate the complexities of society. Yes, you need the technical expertise, you know, the lawyers, the accountants, etc. But there are a lot of very capable people out there in that field. But yeah, and it goes back to the point the gentleman asked earlier about, you know, what is this government going to do to stay in power? I would say, as a foreign investor, we don't fear the change of governments. We tend to fear more the change of ministers. And so, you know, relationships in Ghana are very important. You need to build trust, and as I mentioned in my speech, proximity to the markets. You need to build that proximity. You need to build that trust, and you know, working with a local partner will help you achieve that.
I'm a solicitor, and before I do any work for anyone, I agree my fees, and so money is paramount. And I would guess that businessmen also make that essential consideration. What I was wondering, because I haven't heard much by way of money, and you're looking at potential investors. For example, Ruben, you know, how much am I looking at if I want to invest in this kind of business, and what are my profit margins? Thank you.
So our project size is $500 million. We haven't spoken about money because we're actually oversubscribed in lenders and equity. And I've engaged many solicitors in my time. I've never had any of them tell me their profit margins. So
what I'd like to do is give a positive note. I've been in Ghana for 5 years. There is a language that you have to learn. It's a cultural language. We have a great thing in Ghana called GMT, which Ghana may be time. Things happen, but they happen right, and you have to do it right. We've been through 2 elections in Ghana. We've been through an election in the UK, and we've been through the referendum of Brexit, and we're still trading in Ghana. It is an opportunity for all of us to do that. That's where it is. There's a change in government, and I can see the change in government. I can see the positive nature that we're going forward. And I think it's a very good opportunity. I'm only a small investor. I'm not into the doctor's levels, and we do make profit as well. But it is there. But you have to accept there is a different culture. You have to accept to work there. And you have to give it time. Give it time to educate, give it time to train, invest in that. If you do that, then there's a great opportunity for investors in there. As I mentioned, we've been through 2 elections. We're still there and we're driving forward. We're supported by the UK Export Finance through DIT. We've raised a considerable amount of money in driving water business, agriculture businesses. Yes, it has some challenges, many challenges, but there also lies the opportunity. So from a positive, I mean, I've been to many of these opportunities here and fairs. This has been the most positive one I've seen over the years, and I believe there is a great opportunity, and we're striving forward. We're going to be there, but you have to invest in time, and invest in training, invest in people, because the opportunities are there. Thank you.
Can I just come back on that?
Steve, yes.
So just to come back on that point about training, also don't ignore the value of the human capital resource that Ghana enjoys outside of the country. There's a lot of diaspora looking to return back to the country to participate in the economic growth. And my own personal experience, recruited a CFO some years ago who had spent 25 years in the UK, worked with DFIs, private equity funds, and was coming back to Ghana and worked at the standards that international investors were looking for. Not that there aren't those in Ghana. And so if you can't find who you're looking for in Ghana, and training is not an option, look at the diaspora as well. And the Ghanaian High Commissions and embassies around the world have their diaspora support units that can reach out to the Ghanaian community and help you find the right people and team members to join you.
I was wondering whether any of the panelists would be able to comment on the uncertainty that the anti-corruption drive might be creating. While I undoubtedly agree that any anti-corruption measures are a positive development, we're seeing some concern from investors who might want to invest in projects that were initiated under the previous administration, work with companies that sign contracts with or under the previous administration and are maybe concerned at the moment that these contracts may be reviewed or even cancelled. I'm thinking particularly about the oil and gas sector here.
Well, I mean, in the first place, for us, and I think for a government, wrong is wrong, right is right. And I believe that there will definitely be audits of existing contracts to make sure they are properly aligned to the objectives that we require. But on the even more macro side, a lot of the processes are being digitized to remove the human element, such that the opportunities for supply or demand side corruption doesn't exist. I mean, it's people who get corrupt. When you're dealing with machines, you can't corrupt them. So we are very clear on that. But also, the thing is, as a country, you have to do the right thing, and you have to protect the public purse. And therefore, when in government, you have that responsibility. And if things have gone wrong, you have to right them. Now, I doubt that there would be any such situations that you might call a vendetta. And that is why, as the senior minister said earlier, there is going to be an independent prosecutor who, independent of government, will then look at these cases and decide what went wrong and what is right, and judge accordingly. It's very important. Incidentally, there are 2 ex-attorney generals of Ghana in the room right now. One is the High Commissioner, and one is the Minister of Railways. And I believe that they will clearly even have a better understanding of how to deal with the situation. But corruption will be nipped in the bud. I mean, our president, everybody says he's not corrupt, he's never been corrupt, and he doesn't tolerate corruption. Indeed, prior to winning the elections, I remember in one of our meetings, he clearly stood up and said, well, anybody who wants to be in his government, if he wins power, to make money, should walk out of the room, because it's not about that. He's there to serve. If you want to make money, go into business. Don't serve in government. So I think the will and the mindset is there to do it. And with the public prosecutor coming out pretty soon, we will rationalize a lot of the contracts that have been signed before and right them.
We have had situations in our country where the Supreme Court has ruled that contracts entered into by government were in contravention of the Constitution and void. So we are not living in a situation where a new government comes and just abrogates contracts. You can sue the government. And there have been occasions where individuals have brought actions against the government for breach of contract and have been successful. Others have even resorted to international arbitration according to their contracts. Some have failed, some have been successful. And that's one thing I can say about our country. The rule of law works, even against the president. Quite recently, an action was brought against the government for not seeking the approval of Parliament in respect of an agreement it entered into with the United States. The Supreme Court recently ruled that, according to our Constitution, such a treaty or an agreement was not enforceable until it had been approved by Parliament. So give the government 3 months to regularize the situation. So please, we should not be under any mistaken belief that a contract with a government can be arbitrarily abrogated by another government. No, it doesn't happen in our country. If you do everything according to the law, as Rubin said, you are fully covered. You are fully covered. And now I encourage every investor not to try and cut corners. You may encounter delays because you may think that, well, it should happen within a week. But if an approval has to go through 3 or 4 processes, and one does not, you don't go through one process, well, it may affect your contract. But your investments, as I stated, are constitutionally and statutorily protected.
What's always struck me and confused me about housing policy in Africa is many governments have not gone for prefabricated, modular, manufactured housing, which you can put up very quickly and cheaply. Why is that not happening in Ghana and elsewhere in Africa as it should be?
I do believe it's happening in Ghana because I have spoken to investors that are looking to provide homes for the military and the police, which is a priority for government, and most of them are prefab. But the real cost is because most of the inputs are imported, the costs are still high. Secondly, the issue of land also makes construction and homes expensive. So once we resolve the land issues, and government is in the process of acquiring land banks, GIPC, we're also in the process of acquiring land banks that will make available to investors and developers at attractive cost to enable them pursue their businesses, and all these will bring down the cost of development. But we are open to suggestions. We'll be happy to see developers who offer prefab solutions because they are quick to deploy.
And high quality.
And quite good quality as well. And they will suffice.
It is the world's most dominant economic power with an iconic concept that has made it the #1 destination for most immigrants, the American dream. Douglas Eze is one of the 2 million Africans who decided to make it their new country and who was able to transform his life. Beyond the restless accumulation of material goods, the self-described wealth strategist and award-winning insurance agent is now climbing into the wealthiest 1% club of society.
I wanted to learn more about wealthy families. How do they keep wealth in the family from one generation to the next? So I actually wrote a book called Creating Generational Wealth.
An immigrant from Nigeria, he is now a top-of-the-table member of the $1 Million Roundtable, an exclusive club for the top insurance people in the world.
Well, wealth is basically, that money that you're gonna leave for your children's children. Because there's one thing, getting rich is one thing, and being wealthy is making sure that your family, your generations, your name stays in the family legacy forever.
At conferences like this one, Douglas often shares his personal story of making it in America.
Been in the financial service industry for over 20 years, an entrepreneur on a technology company and also real estate.
The next award goes to Douglas Eve.
Well, thank you so much, everyone.
When he is not invited to talk or receive an award, he uses the opportunity to expand his network, a word that he has quickly come to associate with his net worth.
The first time I made $1 million, I felt good. But then I realized, where's the money? It was all in stuff. And then I had to say to myself, man, if you keep spending the money, you're not going to have the money. And Warren Buffett, he has 2 favorite quotes. The first one is, never lose your money. His second quote is, don't forget rule number 1, never lose your money. So I had to change my mindset and start teaching myself how to make sure that I keep every dollar that I spend, I pay back with simple interest and compounding interest. A lot of people miss that part. It's called self-financing. So one thing we try to teach is show people, even if you make $50,000 a year, $30,000 a year, I show them how much that money is valued 20, 30 years from today with an increase. And I say, you know what? Guess who else knows the value of your money? The federal government, the banks, the media.
With 8 businesses under his belt, Douglas's philosophy is simple. Hard work pays off. And when it comes to it, the cash value king, as he calls himself, uses his money to enjoy life and discover new hobbies.
Okay. Yeah. It's beautiful. So, don't mess with me, man.
According to a 2019 study by the Pew Research Center, 1 in 10 black people living in the US are immigrants. 40% of all African immigrants aged 25 and older have at least a bachelor's degree or higher.
Hi, this is Dr. Kolade. How are you doing?
Dr. Akindele Kolade is a certified psychiatrist, principal investigator at the Kolade Research Institute, and president and CEO of Cal Psychiatrist Services. He is also a successful serial entrepreneur and philanthropist.
I'm originally from Nigeria, but now I'm practicing in the United States. A psychiatrist, first and foremost, and then subspecialized in child psychiatry and adolescent psychiatry, and also in addiction medicine. So I'm triple boarded. And I also do research, clinical research for upcoming medications to treat mental health. So I have a team here that works for me. We have mid-levels, we have social workers, so we have nurses, and we have the front desk staff. In today's world and my office, we're doing mostly virtual practice. I'm consulting for 5 hospitals across America in different states. So we virtually see these patients in different locations and environments, be it in the hospitals or in the clinics or sometimes in their homes. And virtually, because in psychiatry you don't have to touch a patient, but with today's technology you could basically see everything and know everything just looking at the computers and prescribe medication or do counseling or do therapy, whatever you need to do to make them move forward.
That the medication is not working.
Does she use melatonin also? In my practice, I've witnessed an increase and an uptick in people looking for mental health compared to before the pandemic. We've seen an increase of over 30% above what used to be in terms of people looking for help. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. So what are we doing today?
You want to see if I can possibly get a refill?
Okay. Any side effects?
No.
I see a lot of private patients. I see a lot of athletes. And I see a lot of patients through insurance companies. I see some pro bono patients that I do for free. Everybody comes in differently, and that's what we do, whatever it takes to move them forward from this condition to this condition in a good way. Okay, so that's how we go. That's how we roll.
9 p.m. We meet Dr. Akin in a completely different setting. Tonight, he invites us to his brand new luxury lounge in Las Vegas.
Hey, hi. How you doing?
Welcome.
Everything good tonight?
Everything's wonderful, sir.
Okay, let's go party. Somebody asked me this. How come a doctor is opening a restaurant? It's service. It's service for the people in many varieties, be it in medicine, be it in the clinic, or be in the restaurant where you eat good food, or where you dance, or where you sing, or where you enjoy comedy. All that brings about wellness and health in all of us.
I own my own pharmacies since 2009. We work hard every day. We wake up in the morning, 6 a.m., and we go to work. But we also play hard. And that's the reason why we have Splash for people who work hard and at the same time party.
According to a 2021 article published in Kiplinger.com, the state of Maryland had the second highest number of millionaires in the United States of America in 2020. This is where we meet Adisa Barry, a decorated minority and woman business owner who came to America more than 30 years ago from Burkina Faso. Today, this self-made millionaire leads a successful electrical construction company with an annual revenue averaging $25 million.
When I came to this country, my major was accounting. I got my bachelor in accounting, and then I had a part-time job with a construction company. And I worked for the construction company as a controller of the company for about 12 years. Noticed that many CPAs are not familiar with construction accounting. And it's something that I had already understood very well in school, and I mastered it very well. So when we used to have CPA come in, I had to explain them about the construction accounting. And then I opened my own business, and I was doing construction accounting. Then when my business partner joined the business, he said, Adisa, I know you want to do construction management, but my background is electrical. If you want, we can take that route of the electrical. I said, hey, any opportunity that can grow the business, let's go for it. And that's how we got ourselves into electrical business. Yes.
In order to claim her place in this male-dominated industry, Adisa spared no efforts, even if that meant going outside of her skill set.
I'm a women-owned business. I'm a minority too. So when you go to apply those kind of certification, they want to make sure that you at least have a good knowledge about the business. So how do you get it? You have to educate yourself. I was going to evening classes, cutting all this wiring, doing receptacle, taking those electrical courses. I don't have to be on the job site, but I still have to do it. When I was in Burkina Faso, my teacher, and he's like, you know what, let me tell you one thing. The definition of a businessman is somebody who takes a risk. The risk can be positive and the risk can be negative. And he or she is mentally prepared for whatever the outcome of that risk is going to be.
Tell the stories on you today.
I never thought about being rich, but the first risk, opening my business, that's the first risk I took. And these are all temporary feelings. It's temporary. And I'm glad I took that risk.
For most Americans, buying a house is often considered as one of the first investments on the path to building wealth.
So I got a few condos in this building. I got some in this building too. And that building also. Every time one comes on the market, you have to get it very quick. If you don't, you miss it. Now I got addicted. I keep buying one after another. And then I refinance the house and get money to buy another one.
Turn through the green gate to the right. Have a great day.
Back to Las Vegas, we are headed to Dr. Akin's mansion, located in an exclusive gated community. We join him and his wife as they celebrate their son Raymond's first birthday. It is an opportunity for the celebrity psychiatrist to reconnect with the people who matter the most in his life.
Dr. Pilati. Hey, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
How's it going over there? It's a big honor for me to have my entire family in the United States come from every city to represent this, the honor, and to celebrate with me Raymond's first birthday. I think what we're doing is probably way bigger than Raymond's birthday. It's a family reunion, which gives me a lot of blessings, especially coming out of COVID. Most of us haven't seen each other for more than 3-4 years, and to have them come with their children, far and wide, is a blessing, and I'm so grateful for that. My nieces are here.
The best uncle, period. He's genuine, he's caring, and he's always there for us.
Jill, that's my daughter, Alexandria. What is your favorite subject? Science? Yeah. What? Okay. Okay. Science is good. That's how you get to be a doctor, eventually.
For this important birthday, Dr. Akin did not skimp on the means. Exclusive party venue with a breathtaking view on Las Vegas, exotic meals and rarest wine and champagne for all. But beyond the glitz and glamour, Dr. Akin is most keen to show his son the love of a father that he craved as a boy.
I never knew my real father until I was done with secondary school. I grew up in a village and that had no water, no electricity, and I grew up with my grandmother. We had to go to the stream in the morning to take a shower in the stream, little river, and then fetch the water, come back home, and then you have your breakfast, then you go to school. My father at that time was one of the Nigerian ambassadors, but they were divorced with my mother. My mother remarried, so I had a stepfather. Back then, there were no emails, there were no Instagram, there were no Facebooks. And we had to write letters with the email, and it would take 3-4 months to get a reply back. And whenever I get that reply back from him, and that used to be my most beautiful month and year in life that my father actually wrote back to me. Okay, that's your first birthday, the smallest one. It's gonna be big for you.
Yeah.
I never met my father until I was 12 years old. My mother told him that I'm really, really very rebellious. It was about time that we meet. So when we met, he had remarried twice. He said to me, the best legacy I have for you and to every of his children is education. After that, you're on your own. And he meant it, every word of it.
We Nigerians understand that education is a way out. Anyway, we value, we cherish education. They always tell him, I'm like one of the hardest working doctors I know, and I know quite a few because I'm a nurse myself.
We went to Europe and I ended up in a country back then called Czechoslovakia. I learned the language, and that's how I went to medical school in a foreign language. I learned it and spoke it better than English then, and graduated as a doctor. I went back to Nigeria. I was employed in an oil company to take care of an oil rig of over 800 people. That's how my real business career started, because it opened my eyes to what could be possible. Before then, I created the first program in Nigeria called Flying Doctors. So the governor at that time in Port Harcourt, I gave him the idea. He said, he could do what? He said, I will fly down to any part of this state that I've never seen a doctor, give me the tools. The governor then gave me a clinic. A clinic was packed in a helicopter with 2 nurses, and we flew around the state to places that we would land and see people that have never seen a helicopter live, they've never seen a doctor live. They'll line up and they'll stay there for 3, 4, 5, 7 days in the village. So far, no disaster. Not that I was looking for one. It's a good day.
It is said that courage and resilience are 2 virtues the first immigrants in America carried with them. This is still true for those arriving today. It is also what pushed these African high achievers into positions of success.
I came to U.S. from Burkina Faso in 1986, September 1986. My ex was living with, he was renting a room in a house. We were staying in that room, and I was going to school. I had my daughter when I had only 1 year left for my school, and I was struggling with my daughter, trying to study and take her to the babysitter. It was really a lot of work to do. I went through that and I graduated. And I remember when I was done with school, I would send my resume everywhere to companies or look at any employment. I don't receive any response. And my landlord told me, you know what, you need to take all these African degrees that you have on your resume and take all the experiences that you have from Africa, from your resume, just leave everything that you did here in the United States. I removed everything. Then a company called. I wasn't home. My landlord was a white person. And when they called, they heard the voice message. And then when I came back, he listened to the voicemail, and he told me, oh, somebody called. They really want you to call them back because they have a position for you. They have an opening. And I was so excited. I got the number the same day I called the company. As soon as they heard my voice, they said, oh, the position has been filled. Less than an hour. When did you fill it out? I didn't know what to do. I used to take my daughter to the park, and this lady heard me speaking French with her. She's like, oh, what brought you here in the United States? And I told her I studied accounting. She's like, oh, you know what? We got I have 2 partners, and we have a business, but the business is really in my basement. We're just starting up. We don't have anybody to help us with the books. And I told him, well, I have to take my daughter to the babysitter. I paid the lady $5 an hour. Oh, okay, so we can pay you the $5 an hour. That company moved out from her basement. We took over a whole floor in a building.
I've always wanted to go to America. That's the God's own country. You know, that's where the black Americans have fought for freedom. So I lived in Canada until I was 23, and then I left and came to America through Seattle. So I ended up in the DMV. I've been here ever since. So my boy that I came to stay with in DMV, in Maryland, Virginia, he had an old car, you know, that he wasn't driving as much. So I bought it for like $500, an old Honda Civic. I paid $500 for it, and I started, actually, that became my house for a little bit, you know, became my house while I was waiting table at IHOP. So I'll go in the car, sleep there. In the morning, I became friends with a guy that owns a motel, you know, the motels, you know, the manager there. I'll go tell him, hey, listen, you know, I work at IHOP. I don't want to stay in, but can I use your rooms and just shower in the morning? You know, just want to use the shower, have my stuff. You know, he said, okay, cool. So he allowed me to sleep in his parking lot in my car. And then in the morning, I'll go and he open one door, I'll go and take a shower, and I'll go to work. So most of you didn't know that I was sleeping in the car. They didn't even know that. I saw a lot of people that worked at the same IHOP and the same paper route. They were comfortable. They were fighting to become managers. I'm like, nah, I gotta get out of this place, man. I don't want to be no manager here. I mean, especially when I saw people in the financial industry that were making money. I didn't know nothing about finance. I just saw that, man, they're making money in this business, talking to people about saving money. I could do that. I didn't become superstar right away, no. But I learned, I had good mentors, and I'm a learner. I always like to learn. Just reading books, finding successful people, you know, that are open, because not everybody's open to talking to you. Some people you might have to pay, you know, which I did. You know, I paid a bunch of folks that I wanted to learn from. And some folks are just, they were willing to teach you, but you still got to be in their class, you know? You got to pay them to do that. And I don't mind investing to learn. In my business, we recruit other people. So some people have invested money, you know, giving, and they just stab you in the back. They lie to you, they steal from you, you know, and you're like, wow, you know, this guy did all this, and this guy still did that. But you just leave it for God and let God deal with them, that's all.
One of the company doctors was with me at the bar one night and asked me, what's your specialty? I told him I'm a family practitioner. So he told me he's a physician, he's a general practitioner, he's a surgeon, he's a occupational physician, and he also has an MBA. So what am I doing here exactly? I said, you have 5 things? He said, yeah, I got all this, yeah, that's me. They changed my life. And I resigned after a week and came to America. And I'm gonna be a subspecialist in anything they can let me be. That's my life. Yeah. True story. It insulted me in my country. I decided to be the best so that nobody could challenge me anymore. Strong men cry. It's actually not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. Because I have emotions. I'm human. I feel pain. I feel joy, I feel anxiety, I feel unhappiness. I feel blessed. So I'm not shy to shed tears for things that means a lot to me. Basically told me I have no business being there. So that was very insulting to me. So I made a decision in my heart that I need to get there so that nobody would ever talk to me like that anymore in my life. In my medical school, psychiatry was my no-go. I barely had a C to pass. I didn't like it. I did my 3-month rotation in medical school. I was good. But then I went back home to Nigeria. I found out that 1 in every 5 patients I saw had a psychiatric problem, and I have no clue what to do with them. And I felt ashamed. I let my people down. I do it. I want to do it. And that's how I ended up doing psychiatry. And when I finished, I got challenged like you did adult psychiatry. What happens if children show up and they have psychiatric problems? I'm like, oh, that too. Beside the fact that we're not even up to 100, 200 child psychiatrists in America, I want to do it. I went and did it. And I got child and adolescent psychiatry behind my back. In psychiatry, you also have what is called addiction issues. And there's a fellowship in addiction. I decided to do it again and put aside everything else. When I finished with addiction, then I find out that I'm not only a child and adolescent psychiatrist, I'm also an adult psychiatrist and also an addiction guy. So that completed the circle for me in that aspect. But then I went in and did psychiatric administration fellowship to be a CEO of hospitals. So that if I walk into a hospital, somebody want to hire me or don't hire me, I told them I know how to run it. And I can prove it to you by my certificate. So I had all that. Then after that, nobody has ever asked me for a resume, literally. I just have to talk to you. They ask me, when do you want to start?
If making a difference sometimes requires courage and resilience, a giving back can also happen in the most surprising ways, like for Douglas, who literally gave away a part of himself.
So back then, my ex-wife, you know, nice young lady, we were together for a while. She helped me with my papers. So her sister's husband, they applied for life insurance through me. So I gave him a coverage and everything, and then he got declined. But I also got a call from the insurance company that his kidney was failing. And when I heard his story, because his dad died at the same age, and then his wife was pregnant, and they have 3 kids already. And he was 34 years old. So I'm like, okay. So I went without even my wife then knowing. I went to the Innova Fairfax Hospital and said, let me test and see if I could be a match for him. And I did. I went and tested. I wasn't a match. Even the doctor said, listen, you all don't match, but you know, it's 2% chance this will work if you do it. You're only related, you don't have any, you know. I said, listen, forget all that. I said, at the end of the day, it's God that's gonna make it work. It's not me. You know, so I did, and boom. As soon as we put my kidney, because you know you have 2 kidneys, so one is working, the other one is just sitting around waiting. So so they took the one that was working, and as soon as they put it on him, boom, he started using it, started working immediately. But So my kidney lasted on him for about 10 years. The longest they've ever seen. Mostly they say 7 years. I didn't even know it didn't last that long. If I had known I thought it was going to last forever. I didn't know it was only 10 years. They should have told me that. So long story short, he's back in the waiting for additional kidney, but he was able to see his son graduate and all that good stuff, his baby, so which is great,
When I came to US, I didn't speak any English. And when my first child was born, my daughter, I got sick. And I was admitted to the hospital. and 2 women from the church took my daughter at their house, and they were nursing her because they had young kids about the same age as my daughter. And I was in the hospital for a week, and they took care of my daughter during that time. And they would breastfeed my daughter. They didn't even think twice to think whether my daughter have any disease that my daughter got from me. They were nursing my daughter. I guess this is the faith.
I was in a nursing home several years ago, and I was in there for several months. And I got sick, and I had to go to the emergency room and spend the night. Well, to keep my room at the nursing home, it cost $400, which we didn't have. And later I found out that Adisa paid that. And nobody else knows that but my husband and I. In fact, I didn't know it for a long time until he told me. And she's come through many times in our lives to support us when we've needed it. She's always there, one phone call away.
My sister, she went to an employment office to collect unemployment. She met this old lady's daughter who went there also to file for unemployment. And then the 2 of them were looking at each other, and they introduced each other to, and they both said they're from Burkina Faso. So they exchanged numbers, and then she brought her mom to my house, and I cooked fufu, like cornmeal with okra, and then the old lady ate it. And then that's how we started the cooking. So every weekend I will cook for the whole week for her. The daughter will come and pick it up. And I've been doing that for about 6 years. She had a stroke. She had blood clot in her leg. They did a surgery, all this stuff. And now she's on the ventilator. So breathing tube and feeding tube, all this stuff.
Thank you for bringing us here together as a family, Lord. Just really want to take this time to look at that job, Lord. You know that doctors do not seem like they have much positive news, Lord, but we know that your news, your burden, and your output is what's final, Lord. And that's what we have faith in. That's what we want to put our trust in, Lord. And it isn't you, Lord. We just pray that you lay your angels around Yahweh in this room, Lord. Lift her up, Lord. Help her so that she can be independent, Lord. She can be
Seigneur, je suis pour ma soeur.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Papa.
COVID. When I got it, I was in the hospital for 8 days with no family member, just you in that room in ICU, and all you see is nurses come in, take your blood. So it gives you time to reflect, especially when you know you could die. It's serious. So that changed the game. That helped me, realize a lot. I was moving very fast. A lot of things was happening. Success was coming. My mom got sick while I was in the hospital. She had COVID. So my fiance now, when she heard that I was sick, and then she flew in from Georgia and just took care of my mom while I was in the hospital. And, because I've known her for a long time, known her for 11 years. So just, even she wanted us to be serious a while back. I'm like, man, big, I'm good. Especially, you know how it is when you've been married before, you don't want to jump right in. So I'm like, but I'm like, you know what? So this time around, we like had to propose to her.
Apart from the instant connection that we did have from the first day, I had never felt anything as strong. And to be honest, on that day, I knew that that was my husband. It just wasn't the right timing, but I knew that was my husband. The first day, I noticed he'd be quiet in a corner while he's observing everything. Mm-hmm. He's usually very quiet. I could tell that he was very humble. And then in our follow-up conversation the next day, he had told me about the kidney and situation. I just hadn't heard anything like that before. And as we carried on being friends and, you know, his brother's kids that he was going to look after, that just touched me that usually it's women that always want to do all those things. I don't know many men that do. And I just felt like that was special. He's very proud of what he's achieved, but you can always still get the humble side of him. Yeah.
Building wealth does not guarantee being happy, but building a happy family is generally the reason why, for people like Douglas, generational wealth is a big part of the legacy that one leaves behind.
In 2010, 2011, I told her the story about, you know, I have this son in Canada, but I don't know where he's at, you know, and she took it upon herself to go find him. She said, just give me his name, and I did. And she went and online, started looking for him. So she called me one day and said, listen, I think I found your son. She said, let me send you what I have. His name is Kevin James Chukwuka Mihan. So I gave him my Igbo name, you know, when he was born. That was the only thing I asked, because they didn't want me to, his grandparents are Irish. So I was young back then, you know, I didn't even know, that was my first time experiencing racism to the highest level.
I sent him a message saying that I was his father's cousin, because luckily we have the same last name, so it was easy, right? And then I said that your father has been looking for you for years, because there's so many people with the same name and no picture. So I literally had to go through everybody and then he responded, and he was very excited to like hear from anyone who's his father's relative in any capacity.
I reunited with my son, we talked, I flew him out, he came, get to visit, we went to different places. Now he has he's doing his own business. He has a delivery business, and he also has his own son now. So I have a grandson, and he actually named the son my last name, Eze. You know, and his business is called Easy Delivery. Yeah, so good kid doing his thing. You know, been through a lot in his life, but he fought through it.
It looks beautiful. I like the fireplace there.
Thanks. You guys want water?
My daughter, when she reached the age 15 and 9 months, she went and she got her driving license. She was driving the boys, you know, taking them grocery shopping for the sport game, dropping them to school. So I was focusing more on the business.
This is the main level. You'll walk in. This is study, dining.
My daughter is a designer, and she got into real estate. She got her real estate license. Her brother joined him, and they're pretty much doing it together. And I'm very impressed about what they do. And my other son too, in the middle, I'm really proud of him too. He's an IT designer. He worked for one of the big 5 tech companies.
way down is gonna be marble. That's an elevator.
Hard work pays off, man. 1993, I was still in Canada, man, when this house was built. I was like 27 years old. And now it's mine. Not bad for a guy from West Africa with no college degree, living the American dream.
I never dream about American dream. I'm grateful that God really helped me, and He gave me that opportunity to realize and to live my American dream.
To Raymond.
I've never been an A student. I didn't tell anybody I was an A student, but I never gave up. I fall, I wake up and do it again. I fall, wake up and do it again. It is different from repeating the same mistake over and over and over. But I learn from my mistake. When I fall, I learn why I did fall. I know there's more educated Africans in this country than in any other part of the universe. Please tell your story. Let's tell people what we do so that nobody would think that we are from a whole country, because we ain't from a whole country. We have brains. It is time for us to just stop being timid and let the little brown boys and girls emulate you and copy you and be like you and become you and do better. And that's what I'm going to teach my children, and that's why I'm doing this. I just want to start something.
No matter the size of their fortune or the color of their dreams, African millionaires in America are changing the narrative by blazing new trails and giving hope to many immigrants, a proof that the American dream is still alive and well.
For Buy Ghana TV, it's all about Ghana, and it's all about Ghana. And nothing and Yati and what's Mountain so. Any other for a barber to chunk, ye baby sad for and some about more money at Tumpong. Nana, some of your baby son say, Aso, I am a Sikaya Baby Juno. A dear depot in almost to say, I bind the ya, a bet to me abua. Am I in Punto so about my and I fancy a dread ye at the same. Ye near Mamma Mudija, a barber to chunkomo. Ye baby some so. Compared to last year, any this year, and some who dread ye na sign any sifatia, and not young Connie and your mamma and quite a chunkomo. Midin and Nanaya, Aso, Jangles, Medase. Aha asafu dwom ye ne ye maame mo kasa ye bisa won sane edwadie no esifetie ene besia na aban akogya ba ye IMF na nya ba beduru oman mu ye bisa ye maame mo di aban di sika ne ya ebetimi abo oman mu ni nyina na enkoye se tififo ene benefit atoyefo do mo mu nya so mfaso bia ene ti ato ache ye maame ba ko ha no se ye ne no e ba betwetwe nkom mami mema wa ha
January Esther
ba to ye frozen
me di oba ya agibia
oba ya agibia unso ton den wa ha
me ton tin tomato se mo anwa
And Tunia na way. Okay. But I can enjoy the net saying.
Oh, Yanko Padumeye. Radia Dumeye.
Go buy ya to Tobiama because and then for company say young card, and you buy ya to Tobiama.
Oh, ya Toby. Toddy, Jana, I knew you slow, dear Betty. Patron.
Now in Sona, I shall say to Tony Hammond.
How dear hire so a giant means in Yanko Porquine, into when I was our ball who bang. To who says you never, nature, one with the real bit here, over handle them.
Yeah, well, my money at some penny for some of IMF. I am no prayer IMF, Nanya Baby, this Canania Baby, Drabber, Shaya Tasso. Also said, Diana, bind this canny, I bet me up well my money now.
Maybe I mean, so she say. On Femium and Numa, Emma and Colano, Enya Binya, because they say no. The way and Colano, we sorry on Yajuman, your Yajuman, your Quaviacha, said you must see Bojantella or Nebroso. It is what we are Jumana and Uncolani in Yabiaya, a bebwa. So a first one who or this kind of Subaya, one channel will be a Yanadi and one fan to Nibutum, and Fanya Juma, my joint children.
To those who said, no, dear, binding this can hear a
beboy, because or cast what they are quite cool, quite near who quite be or more. They be almost one more quine, so baby a fanny the word to two. Ain't one do unfamiliar Yuma, Nanqualani in Yabinya. That's all. No, the bars are for market, not so pen, what it meant is Nina, I didn't know about. Oh, what was Sasa Ope, a sea dunket Yama, mea, will be a bachelor. I said, dunket Papa be bema, papa. Medase, Miss Medase, Yamisha.
Mama, me did the aso na onse.
Me did the Ernestine Nyamiche. Me ton ade o labor asafu labor. Baby I me pacho me ton nsuo and a drink and a koshia ya no and a biscuits.
So koshia ya no and a drink and a ton asafu.
Aha, and a biscuits.
Na me so edwa die ne te say.
Say the edwa die enko mami. Omo ya. Say no sa ho kire ni ntira. Nipa no hu ade nkora wo pe. Anso sika de beto wo hin. Ti say no ma mo ya din say we adwuma kora sika na ehye. We say wo ba na ya nto a say untimi nkobu anda. Sika na ekura na akofiri obi no ma obayi bi atodwane adi. Enti say die no ma mo din. Ti sika na papa na akogye aba ne die. Wo ma na ni na ho yie pa.
Say wo so ma na ni na ho die. Wo susu say die no this kan ya e be boa o man mu ni nyina.
So wo fa bi mie enwuma. Na mrantie na say wo amadane akromfo. Ene eto ye kom me common devotion. Ye kwa ahomache kura no num ne fa kura yesuro. Wo ya ne age wo bag, ya age wo phone. Ye age mpo ne age no kwakura akanya ya. Ye be pra waka ho anyama ye be ku atwen. Pa ye se nyame mie nani. Na wo masika no wo fanya de papa manfa so onye den. Emra so ma enchirima. E se ye mamrantie no. Krono na do so hwe ni ma na yekunkum ye mamrantie ni nketesie. So obi oni akodi load ya hwe ne ba school. Wo wie ya onya adwuma nye. Yes, we be the protocol. Protocol this was an akokotue sika. Yes, said the to aba man, ye de wi me gina me wi hye nu ama ise me nya koma ya de. Nya pressure. Wa banana do wa me de nya me ani me ni. Wa fedi ye. Wa fedi ye nchi sika no. Omfanya de papa. Man de ba bi okwaje ba ye no. Wo mu hu say djuma na de ye no fa so aba so. Amechina no wo kwaje biom pa. Wa ye den. Ya mani bi aka ho. Na say wo kwaje na afanya no man fa so bi eni so dia. Say na just say that the Ghana, that yes, yes, any day you go to good form. Oh, here from, but why? Why?
Mama, me das,
me das, please.
Ya da so ewo asafo market ya be piemu ewo lace shop enya asam ketwa wa wo be piemu hanum se ya lace bia wo pe bia bouquet mommy na we ya friend say advance na ne wo ho inso e
no ye organza lace and a cord lace Adiza
Sister Adiza, Obia Edo Beba. Wunya boni din kwa dia ya do beba ne shop hanu se na ne wupe bia no wonsa enso betumi aka. Beba cho ne enti aye ba ne ebisa se IMF na aban akogya ba yeska no. Ususu se din ade na odi ska ne ya ebeboa oman mu ni nyina.
Me free se ne ma ne bo na akosoro. Enti na okogye IMF. Enti first no fanye no. Ma ne mamra for my. Second sunye road. Ye kwanye onye kwan no na next no so we free so the boan kra no school feeding na ebeboa ye parent because
free
SHS no primary no de onyan ma parent na kra ni do free senior high na wotimi di bia pushi wo mo we free say parent ye handle kra no free omo kra brem na ebebo ye betimi obi enu awo ne ba obeka so ntimi hwen but free SHS no obo ne maye 5 obo ne maye 3 who ani dey 2 4 enti ebi say ebi otimi so nketo anim na mpanimfo ne wo hai na aban so masia me free se beboa na nka ska na aka na ntimi mu ankora na didi memi ekunani enti me free se ska na eba ne se nko de hwe de wodi ba be hwe ama aduane aba fom fuel aba fom yetimi aye bibia kama se yetimi ye ho be han ya me free se nke ho ne ye na nka second no so aye kwan ya kwan nye na nka tedni no so fa mu ankora no school feeding for senior high na me free se beboa ye pa
na edwadie ne nso te sen
dwadie nye ma ne kosoro sa na obi paade no so ntimi nto nipa no ba no abebusa o se we ye sen na emi se 2022 no wetimi abone bo se ana early January wetimi abone bo se 50 cedis na obesan beba o se 60 cedis a on say obeti akone chikakra because wa mo ne ho for 60 cedis oboa ne for 50 cedis enti obasa je so sa akwa echire ansa wasaba obi wo kro kwa wo mabio enti dwade ni de sisi ade eden emma na particular na mema ni bi wo kra ye manana ye support to fee obo ani kunu onso no ana ehwe nkwala ehwe fee enti se koyesi ana asema no ye bed na ye kese dodo enti IMF ni de na ye support to bete omo hwese de omo de ye no echire ka bia ma emma ye biom because me who say e ka bi ba ya na 20 ye friend say akra ya won foforo kra no de ka mi wa o mary asenso dem wa ba no kra no de ka intimi wo mo fanya de a ye be ma ye ho be hen ha ye normally ye ma no ye bre pa enkosi se ni esipe no intini na wo ye ne sama ya ye na ye ho ye be boa ye why
studies aye dase Ebusia for sister Diza actually na adwin wo de afutu akwa magana mampani won de wo kire se wo jai enkwala basic schools no ama parents na ahwoma anka beboa na nka oma nani nko free SHS for ne so sane ebe ya ono nso ne ho betimi ahan na Ghana bla ya ble ni nyina eto nso betimi aide etwa eno ti se wo pentuma anase lace bibia wo pebia no so chi sister Diza e wo hanu se wonsa ebetumi aka bi sister Diza ye dase
me dase yes
Pacho, me did the ask on our way.
Me did the fear. I do the cook.
I drew a joke. Me pacho and cats here any dinner out of
me tongue cat any contain robbers.
In cats here contain any robbers in case it's so be pebia on Caswasha mine.
Also open cat here.
Ya kan kate ura chese wajiba bia obi abehu okay me pacho na edwade ne tesen
edwane de ye menim na anya na so e ba fan sa chese ade chi ade se bia no enso se nyina afri nyame ho e koye ben ya ye mo afri urade se ye urade ankasa ye nipa ye ntumi nya ho hwe biso o ma na mu ayede kura na ye so nipa ye timu no ye so ye kan na o ma na mu ayede biso ade bi wo ho a eyesra akura yesisra miensa eyesra mienu kura yesisra num na fi atutuma na no boa na ye dendende nti o ma ne de enye ba akofo obia mo kire no na nso ade to ne de ye mien ma eja ye ba ye ne sa a friend of pa besia yimbra there or say all more than India or my the pension into Christian here the year and you may be sure if you season can't cut it to me your mamma to uncut say maybe what to me and yet say and you granted by no board and as you say Ghana has also young Catiano and tis a working a phone Niger for Yama Yaton. It's a Ghana Yamano. In Swana Esha say, and to me, shall send Tamane and Yen into never bano, na Yamana Fancy. And to say Yamana Fancy, and I can club Benyano. And or the bottom say, it's all my name Yanica. Sa, aha, Sanya Subaya, Obeyan sick or the aye Jumano. Now, Nuswanya credit. Into so Boka Baya. Say me fa say miensa na say ohun say odi ye adwuma no ska dudu say na odi ye na say du no enya sa ska na ono do odi batam say na cha say enya ni sika pepepe na cha say atoso de no so de ye season emre bi ba eye emre bi ba enye internet die enya obi fault fi say ye season ye na obi enim say wo
enka tiewura sese wudu asafo market a do so we enka tiewura obi ado baba bebi a wo mami ye da so
ye mienu kokko ba ku le tuntum ba ku so ni no uno wo cabbage nche na ye kokko na ye to robes
ye da so
yo
mami mi din di aso na say
so me din di abna men me
ba cho ye bisa say edwade ne tesen e na ade ton ne tesen
ade ton ne de enye ye betena ho ano ansa ye te ho fi se mra kakra ni na ye de esika hwe ye mahina me ma ebi awie university nkwala e wo mu nso ko secondary school sese no nkwala awie university ye nya dwuma enye ye ti fie menkwala ya titi ye bowure mu nsi eto wawie bow ye namumu se ye manti wo mo so be hwe ye na nkwala igu fie ni enya dwuma nye se me kwa me nam 70 ma hwe me ma me ya wie bia wie university onya dwuma nye wote fie empanimfo ese e ko pension menkwala bi bra be hyemu na yanso ye di ye bra so aba no ye nya ene se aye bosambosa ama asabi oba abrewa esanka metena fie mini binti me ba no so ni bi enti da bia sa me bedwum de nsi oto am gina mu awie abo am gina mu enti yesramo empanimfo na mu gina parliament no a mu jisika 200 million bosome di oji 150 di oji 100 di oji 70 di oji 80 ayeye mun so mon kwatena fie na yanso ye ma no so enko no wo so enye bi mra ye ntoduane ni na ya bre ye sramo efise mun sese no mun panimfo amugu wo mun petrol ka mun tobi mun to petrol mun to petrol mun to light mun tua bi mu ensio mu ntia bi ye nyina na ebugu ye nso e ma ye tia adai na mo ma ye ho hyehye ye na mo kwa wi am se nanado na sika men panimfo bebre ba mo buga parliament ho no sika bebrebe woi sanka mo kwotena afia na nka yenye bi kan kwala na ebeba no enko mo nya bi hwa awofo na sa ka wi ase ebe kwofom akofom enti esra mo panimfo no mo di bi aye nipa be ye bi wanye ni hina modi bia eye wonso mon kwotena fi ye yanso ye
anya ba bedru so se de na ban ne de ya ebe bo o man mu ni nyina
on fa nya kwan kwan no aduane so de aduane bo aye den enso enko o mu ntumi femma se si ensuo toyi ekwa bo ho no mo aye na te kokko ka ne si mo ana mem entumi nko enti yesra na na do se sika na wanya no onfa nye kwan na enye na duane na tumi aba na obi anyi bi ade ne ye nyina man Ghana ye nyina na ye die nya ba akofo ukoto board ye ba nchen ye bibia ye enti yesra na na do se sika no mo onfa mo besia na nkofo nyige na ye fa nya kasesam ewo man yi mu onfa nya kwan school na sabi onkwala ya won kurase na wo mo tete apatase no wo fa bi nye school man kwala no wo mo hina ntumi nko school na sabi o ya hina ya ho ntoye
yo ye da semame Pacha me mwakwa baba by Ghana TV so
ya oba
Pacha wo ho ye
Kristo adaroma me ho ye
na pacha wo ton den
Pacha me ton bayire
bayire no kwa na wo
ana ntime
bayire na nchine na pacha e bisa edwadie ne tesen
se de edwadie ne de e ko slow e wo fampa entoshe
na ususu se den tia
se sikani ho obi asisika ni ho o man ni mo ayedin nti nipa no wonya wo pe enso so ntimi nto
say ya tete fuel so aban tete petrol ni so still na driver for na bo mo de gina no na bi mu da so de gina no affect mu dwadie na
ya kaya pa na yeso so no ya ni adowafo no ebi akasa omo so nsem omo kan na omu sa say omu sa aban tete petrol so de enso so enoma na omo so koto e di se bia omo engine omo ko fill engine ebo omo de gina na omo oil ebo omo de gina na omo de gina omo nten so bibia no ma fa ka ho a omate so entanso omo so ntimi nte so
ntimi
nte fe ni so ha to omo so kan ya te ase ama wo mo ebi se bia so wote so na se bia okọ filling oil no so no ebo no kosoro a ye nte so ente beda no atimi ate so nti sa abaye wo so ati petrol so dia o tete sa tax no adada eyi no so na amoa na enyina ye ho ntoye
Pacha sa wo beka ya ye wo man mu na mpenifo beka so mo beko IMF ye no kreska na nya ba bedu ususu se dia na ban de sa scan ya beboa o man mu ni nyina
me de ma de sire kase pa me ka cha ban ne se sika we na aban ma omu nche ni ne nkoye mpenifo nko aboto na mo won fa mo man na yiwo mu no fa moa ade bia sa ba adwuma ye fo mo ye adwuma ye betu omuka yie akaka zum lion fo obo na musika bebo so men som so menum ne entua wo maka ade entira edi sese ye na nyina no fa ne ntutu fo na wo fa ntuatua na o man ni mu nwoma ye wo man no sesika ni mu a ma ye ne wo mu so esi apane ye bra sa band sesika we ma emma sa adwadi fo ye ne wo dwoma ye na wo say ye ne wo dwo ko pelu a ye di bum ne de atoso enso bi o ya ban adwuma ko pelu a kakra bi ne de atoso enso ye ma no ye bi o mo se afe no atue bo onso esi bi 2 years no atue wie enso ye ne eto ade odwom no ye nya ne sa entiska we aba ne de yesu ye kra na etususu o ye na etususu enti seska we na aba na aba ye tue tax enti aba fa mo ye ne e wodwom no de mayelo a yesu be di no kresi e betua ne yesu ba bia hwan ha ya ma o man mu adwo na yewu pa me yekura ni me no obi a wo hwe me nko a aden enti aba no mo ye ne wodwom ne yewu
na ma so ade boa mo amu wodwom de mamulo na akuafo nso be yeden
o mo nyina sane emma se edwomfo nko no de ma ye
so mfa malulo
bia kakran
yeah, that's na mbempacho obi ba asafo market na so pe bayira edin be no mo no mfa hu no
me de me fe ma menu amen wo do si market aso hwe amen obi a ba kire me staff ha to obi a be hu
wo hwehwe anya den
kura
ebusia for ma menu e na akire na adwo de so osusu se saban no e de IMF sika no ebo dwadi for besin a eno ebetimi aboa ama sika no manfo nya so mfaso eno nti se wo ba asafo market na se wo pe bayire nko ato abayira e de enya bayire bia na obetimi ato sometimes obetimi ato bayire bia kofi obekọ no ano e chen banche udi a enye yie nanso mama nu bayire ne de wo ba da mu ba akopẹ eno nti se wo ba asafo market nko ade ahwehwe mama nu e kira kwan na beje bayire watete so safe eya fofo mommy me das
bye bye.
Mema wakwa baba by Ghana TV so.
Mejosu.
Na me did aso nso e.
Me did mefia broni. Na ye bisa se edwadie te sen na obebie wo ya den. Wo ton den ana wo ya den.
Ye hairdresser sa to mi.
na wo be die ye no ekọ omo amanfo be ye omuti ana say weeks no mo betoto
da bi o say nema boa ye din emi obesima kula first ese obesima 30 cedis nipa no dodo sen no ta ebeso no ye nto wo be bie shop so out wo san adwuma mma ne tete wo san nkoyi ye nim sa sika na eni wo o ma ni mo odin obi ani sika na school for no school fees boarding nti no nipa no obeka so de bikotue school fees ne obi azu pese ne ba eye ekonanim to obi a de sika ehwe ne ba school nti na ama ayesa
na IMF sika na nya ba bedu susu se de ade port na ban ne de ya ye benya so mfa so
aban yesra ne se onfa mo adwadifuo no onfa bi mo adwadifuo na onfa bi mo schools no nkura no mu ko schools so onfa bi mo mo
SS4 na university
SS4 no obi okọ school bia onfa bi mo no onfa bi so mo adwadifuo na ye mobo nto mo aye onfa bi mo adwadifuo as no onfa ma ye loan ana onfa ma cheche wodi bi ma ye loan kura ye because scam le bi omo ye se ba isei ebi anya bi ebi sunya bi enti no nyina na enyaye enti enti onfa bi ensa meboa ye de ede ena lolo fe kura nya ize lolo fe yesi atete petrol so lolo fe omonte so de echu kwa ha ne he ya ne ajo be 15 cedis na oba adwom ya ntohwe a de na ade be faka akofie wo masu ofie o meko school o medidi ena light ukoto ya na asa light ho den ena bibia konanim tiesle no ontete ne ma so kakra mayen
ya das
musume damas
me perigio into where say and yes minimum board you and we mune
we name the 1.5 so million
now I found
8 million
800 hey when you ma born yende someone grandma because you know me ya ba me say we dey no go bad say 800 cedis na pa chef me amasewa me ma wakwa baba buy Ghana TV
thank you
pa cha ye bisa edwade eti say na obebie ye wig no ekosen omoto
you say the season na ye wo mu na ma na mo ayedin ana so mo nto ne ma ne hyew sa se ne ye peno no nso nyame adum kakaka no se be ye ti eguso
nto de compare last year na chese last year ye ana say last year ni this edwade no hwa
last year na de nyame adum na emu ode kakra mo this year de hu se enem mo henhan ye kakra
okay nto de also said na last year mo ode
na this year de hu se enem mo aye me kakra de amaye pa
na pa cho ye wo man mu so obeka ya mpani for de betu ye nim so mo ko IMF akopa besia de abasa na ebe ya o man no ye bless so beti no kreska na nya ba bedu ususu said dia de pot na ban this kan ya ebetimi abo o man mu ni nyina
ye msusu sank wode ye bebo ebo hye na wo hye ye no enu na ye pese wode sika ne den eye ede maye emane kofa bi emeka ho empane ni
bo hye ni bi na o hye ye
mbo hye ye na ya kwan mo ne ye school sam ne ye manual de suem ne ye mane feeding ye nya na ese wode sika ne wure mo maye ye mane particular na kasa education ho hia ye SS for no ye na university for no ni na mo school mo sam no ehia ye pan ye panti yesre o mo se sika no mo fa mo ye ma no ade suam ene ya kwan mu ne nyina fa mo ye ma ne fa bi nsa be kan wo bi no bo de hye na wo hye na e pese wodi no aso ye de e ma ye na ne ma so fa hye fa me amasewa
ebusiafo ne sister amasewa ma menka ne sa sister amasewa ene kasa ye no wo so ndi osusu se aban e de IMF sika no e hye ye ma ne suku semma eno ebetimi aboa eno nti osra aban se onfa sika ne nyina emwo sukufo se wo per weeks papa pa dia ene na sister amasewa shop oba asapo market a wo so per sister na ono aye wig no me kwa me do aminim se ne boarding sa fofofo no na eye ne bo nso kra nsa anya den ade na efu se ye no se wo per wig papa a ne bo nso efu nso de ne na wa ba sister amasewa shop na wa ba abeje de me da se
Minya Bema. Na no bra. Maybe I am. Me mo akwa baba buy Ghana TV so.
As you Joshua.
Me did the ask now so.
Your friend Nani.
Nani, Nampa cho we are then wa ha.
I draw head me one any in Pabwana.
Homemade in Papua.
Yeah, Ghana made.
Ghana made in Papua. Into way Mariano Nana said. I way up in my chance. Into near Mariani be when me should be. Because matter somewhere near Mapa. Oh wow. Anyway, them size. Mini how? Oh wow, efe. Ntenu na moya wa hanu mo sei nti so bi pebia edin ben no mfambra.
So pebia obusa bia nania. The warrior na ye sticker na de ade gbobom nti ohwe number nya gugu so ndi bia opebi na hwe sticker ni so a. Which me a friend number. So onim on top na wa hwe sticker ni so. Ebi o wa abonten ope Ghana made ni bia to. Ntenu no oba asafo market a onka so ohwehwe nani. Yeah. I don't know who handles it. Ra nani. See, I be your back killer ya. Ra killer ya. Be who say be babo bi say wa ha. And mama bi so and na uba e dwade na etesen. The first na you starting Pabwani dey na marketing dey create me free outside. Ebe we ma be twade but 2 years e ba ye dey. We am Pabwani say go any. One for the uncultured canal, one for the 1991. Say, go and you could join the brand and Paboy. Say, if they had the great India and Kosokra. Now, say, dainty. So far, the new man, you go and say, I told you high now and Pabwandi not effective. We go on restoration 2 days beer near 2 and but one so called so. You'll be a face now, near the Ghana media, F. By the same Bama. Our selection near tomb, leather near tomb. A 2 new ones, ma. Is there any man boy at dinner? It is a 1 pajam tumpa one more. Baboka. See a margin Pabuano, Ghana made Nana face, Naman photo, they're boying. And Giama, the Ama, and you more the Ama Empabo. When G. I also had a co film about first name Tisa.
Ya wa mai mwenche na mpenifo de betu ye nim so moko IMF akwaje besia bia basane ya beya ya ho betumi ahan yen ampasika na nya ba bedu ususu se dia ade port na ban de sa sika na ya betumi aboa wo manfo
yeah say dia we in first na bia wa bia be geo particular bia na bia de kakra tum se wa ye dwuma se ne ye de so asena me tumi de nka em power for nka babuai we de ni boafo bia ye nkwale yeni ana ye fakra na akire na dwuma na apre bia manada yenye sika bi emfie ne ya modembo enti nge hia aban se oba be so asene se bia ye de we first na bi obi o ha nanka ebi o
do susu se o meche skanima edwuma ye fo
o pe mu aye
ma ye loan na say
o pe mu emwa ya on fa nyina mai but on je first on be ji enu ma say ya baba ma besia sisi ankosa ye nse bi mu a obse nke be boae na nka ye ne ye nya bi ne nso de awura dwuma na nka nso etimi de aboa afoforo no nti ke be boae
ya dasi
nso da masi pa
Pacho me mo akwa baba buy Ghana TV so
me jo so
me did the ask for now so
me did the tabi yeah
na Pacho also ya Ghana made ni bia
me Pacho ai
okay Pacho na oba e dwade na te sen
oh yeah dwuma we de ye dwade ne de first na ye hu so sa ayi we de ye dwade na sei me say e no man tutum na no man ko soro no ama ye no man no adwuma ye na nkasa no enso ani ankasa izokoto ade we na ade be ugina ho ane se tum so enti de me susu yanka me susu mi tirim se kame aban na wote so no se wote no tie ni pa dia enka wono mra me so yasene na se ba bi kwa no de kwa kogu na ye be ye adwuma no akra no man bi aba ni aye ka ye mfa no man ntoa e ma no wo kodibu ana Togo so hu
amoya mode mo prama nkro
ye de foka akọ te wasan ko mo nka baye ha na nka wo beto na nka saa ayi na aduti na ye koye ye no ko mo na baye na nka sika na ye dei akaya ha ye de to mo nto no onye duty bia ma Ghana ana onye duty bia ma ban bia so nte ba ya ho kire no ye nya we say hu za me de no ma no ko ba leda no enam say obi na akofa no to no bo pe no dey odigi senka aban no so akofa bia ba ye beto na aban beti so ma ye ne de ye adwuma no nti aban no percentage aban no binya no enko saa nipa kono no so akofa fi baabi na ye de ne aba no omna je mfa so ne enya mfa so we say ade me to no 1 cedi a me kono be ko 50 cedis tinipa no kokra no wan ba ye no ena enya mfa so ye de enya hwe tituli sa umkran say sa fa nkwala omom na mo nya adwuma no ye sa fa mo me nkwala mi ensa ma ha da ya omutimu a musu adwuma so enti aban no so so ati ase se ni kan so me have sufusu ni adwuma bia enti me kire nkwala adwuma free enti sa aban no bem aban bi obeba nde mi do obeba de obeba na odna nyum esi saa empaboafo so sumika ye sumika nsa no adwuma no so a enye adwuma fon ni se metimi fa obi kire na adwuma ma no so ekonya no nsa no adwuma enye adwuma bone so enti mi dem kakra meka ne se sa aban obeba no fo anim ra ho se skaba na fine wo de beboa o man mu a
ususu se dia de potin na aban no de ya ebeboa ye nyina na enkoye se empaboafo nya so mfaso omo ye tire omu nya so mfaso adepamfo nya so mfaso we fo nya aha ususu se dia de potin na aban no mfa sika ne nya ebeboa ye nyina ensusu ya me dem susu ni so de ye ne se adwuma de eba wo mu oye adwuma de ye enti won fana ni nsusu se bi adwuma we mi diskan bi ko shem na adwuma mi diskan mi ko de be hye adwuma na so kese pa wa Asante region ha akese kese nya hankon Safo market Central market Nsiaye so Tafu market Atonsu market chese edoso enti senko oba na nko timbe badwa bia mu e be hwe nipa dodo ayo ma ye empa wadwuma na a ono so hwe de be boa ye betimi aboa ye ma ye so akọ animu na se ebe ka aban na ndem susu yen senkaye enti wonfa saiska na aba no ntinga so wonfa nyame hye shumeka adwuma no wonfa bi emeboa ye so bi adwuma mo ba bi na so family bi wo mu na so ye bia ebeboa so akọ na ba bi akọ no wi bi tramo ni ache no obo akọ wi ade eno na nye eno ntina mama tuasi wo me fa nkola na ide me kire wo adwuma ma ha dai si wo a on bedem de nya so dwale bla adwuma me ma sa ma atwop money de 15 cedis market so obi pese wo sua bi e bia young boy bi na say young girl bi wa wie school na wa ko school kwa ba to tifi o pese obe sua adwuma yi bia obetim do number to jama se ne be ya obenya wo number na watu ho asi wo se wo bu amabunu yi de obetimi ate wa homam na nso mo bia wo no de abo an
so ntimi number no metim da to ja
patu jama
0545 43 56 45 0545 43 56 45 ye friend master tabi
nto bia ba Asafo market a obodi benya ni obehu
oh media me din pa de tabi na ma ho tedin de o ka wankona dia eni obo wankona ba bia metie bia obi aba edo beba an ye ma ho tedin no nti me de mabiem nsem me nkola me kire madwuma edan si ho fa fom na beda bikwa fom kwa me sa so ama ho na oda so asu adwuma no apon ho na so de akobo bla bre kakra me kan me da ase
By Ghana TV pacho me ma wakwa ba
ya
emi de aso na nso e
pacho me so me de mama efia
me pacho na oya dan o
pacho me pamade
e ma ne me ma na ma nko de na o pa me wa Asafo market
Asafo market
so bi pese o be pamade na so hwe mama efia nko ade a
K48
K48 no opa obia be na pacho kaya ye wo man mu na mpanifo de beto ye nim se omukọ IMF omhwa ye ho chi ya broso nti omukọ akwa je besia e de abasa ne be ya o manfo ye ho be de ebe han ye eye no kresika na nya ba abedu ebi aba ni aba ne nso nya sika keto twitwiri di ankasa osusu se di ade potin na ban ne de ya ebe ma o manfo nyina benya so mfaso na
ntinka me se aban mia odno opese ode eboa o my Ghana no because o my Ghana da yakoma so ye baby e kona etimo no se obi kura tu kwan kura obesan aba ninchi enti enkomen kani kwa se to na se na se sei no enti aban mesrew sika na aba no kra nneema na fa begu system no mu na oman no mu etena enye de okota
susu se o this can be kra nneema bit se se no susu se on fan kran free amahodo so famla yen
nneema ese se okra ede ba no ye wo man mu adehufo wo mu nimdiefo wo mu enti enwuma ewo man mu a da de ma yensa koya no eye bia adepamfo ho nneema anase shoemakers for ho nneema anase carpenter for ho nneema enti no se mo kra de ba ebe ma wona okokofa ba na wagire buo no mu dendenden no me feel say entimi muwa ma o ma no ntimi enkoso because okoto ade na ne boarding fa free mo so na mo betimi di akra ba ma yenso yetimi atobie na ma aduane enso aba from because they say I want mo no ne ade nyina abo ayeden enti o man mo me nyina yen fa adwene pa ne akoma pa na yen fa sika na aba no en fa nya bibi nhye Kristo ni munyam na Awurade to sro akasa ampa de na yam o man Ghana no eno a na mo so mo ye mo fa ko si abrosan na mo nko am ko tenatena mu mo ma yen so yen ya yetimo na yen ni ba bia ekro no yen so yen enjoy bi because see your ma na see ye hwe mo na ye pese da achi so see ya ye di sika na de boa wo mo enti no me pa mo chew mpanimfo ye de paibo ta mo chi se munyuma pa mo ye no munye no nia e be boa ma o mai e mu tena ye de
na mpacho obi pese osua adwuma wo betima akire no
obi pese osua adwuma metimi akire no etimi akire
ye dase na osua no
K48 mama efia K48
ye dase Ebusia for Buy Ghana TV, it's all about Ghana. Enunti ana yati ya huesi mountain so any adofo betwetwe nkomo. Ene ye be piemu e wasafo market ye bebisa adofo adwen se aso. IMF sika ya abedru oman yi mu no. Omo susu se de na ye discan ya betimi aboa. Se ne be ya enkoye se ebi munya so mfaso, ebi munya so mfaso. Omanfo a kire o madwen bebre. Ebi mu so omo susu se abayen first can emma loan. Onchicha ma adwadifo no mfanye loan. Ebi mu so se ne akwala ya wo nene kwa ne de be chiche yenya yemfa nchiche mfiti nkwala ya wo mo ne so enkosi mpanifo so ebi mu so se yemfa ma adwadifo na ye bisa se ye de ma adwadifo a aso akuafo so be ye den enu nti na ya base ne be ya obia be kire na adwene enkoye se obia anya bi ento obia piri bi ade ba ne de wonso susu se den.
As one of the best managed economies in Africa, Ghana has strong service, mining, agriculture, tourism, and recently oil sectors. In 2018, the country produced 4.9 million ounces, becoming #1 gold producer in Africa. Other major minerals mined include manganese, bauxite, and diamond. There are also potential for base metals and many industrial minerals. A full-fledged mining country, Ghana has well-established regulatory institutions with the Minerals Commission as the main mining regulatory body. Others include the Environmental Protection Agency, Water Resources Commission, and Forestry Commission. The principal enactment that regulates minerals and mining in Ghana is the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703.
Ghana has a comprehensive set of legislations that govern mining in this country. We have a comprehensive forward-looking mining policy which directs how mining should be done in this country. So investors want to have a certainty of the rules that govern the mining environment. And this country has perfectly all the set of laws, administrative framework. We have a functional institution. Minerals Commission is well equipped. We have the Environmental Protection Agency, who are all skilled and highly placed people who understand what money is all about.
The Ghana Geological Survey Authority was established as a department in 1913. The authority has its mission to continuously generate, collect, store and archive relevant geoscientific data, and disseminate data and information in a user-friendly way to government, industry, and the public at large.
When you look at this one, the mineral occurrences, in the Upper West region, we have a gold. And when you look at this one, and you come here, it's a manganese. So we also have manganese, and we call them occurrences.
Ghana has the potential of becoming competitive on the global stage in the mining sector through value addition to other minerals such as iron ore and lithium with sound policies.
Ghana is still largely unexplored, so the potential for a lot more, gold production in Ghana is really huge. But let's only talk about gold. The government has started the integrated aluminium program, for instance, which would unleash a whole new industry and its affiliates, leveraging the bauxite deposits that we've got. The country has got, iron ore as well, which is similarly going to lead to, another whole industry developing. We're seeing lithium being mined nowadays. So it just tells you that Ghana has got quite a whole repository of different minerals which can be leveraged in its development. So the whole issue of a resource or the resource being there is strongly in Ghana's favor.
The prospects, I think, are very, very encouraging. We have defined a significant strike length of spodumene-bearing pegmatites, and we are continuing with our drill evaluation of this to add more strike and tonnage. But we are confident there is an extractable deposit of spodumene-bearing pegmatites here. We are focused here on lithium-bearing pegmatites. One of our prospects has encountered the mineral amblygonite, and we're excited about it because it may indicate there's spodumene and other minerals. If we achieve that critical threshold where it can support itself and can be extracted commercially, yes.
I would say it's a favorable environment, but has its own challenges, unique challenges, which we work with the Chamber of Mines, government, and others, stakeholders, to ensure that permitting, for example, is predictable and investment can be secured, so that we can also create value for our communities and the country as a whole. There's an enabling environment for investors like Newmont Goldcorp to invest.
The potential is very bright, very, very, very bright. For us as a country, salt is the only thing that is not yet tapped. We have all the minerals. We have gold, we have bauxite, we have everything that you can call. But salt is a very young industry. That government needs to sit with the stakeholders, come out with the right policy.
We saw Ghana to be a very good destination for mining. What we hear from other countries on mining, we don't get that in Ghana. And then to the north specifically, we enjoy working in the north. We saw the prospect and the peaceful nature of Ghanaians. So we decided to come to Ghana to explore.
You want to invest in Ghana, it's a good thing to do because we are with a good labor force. I believe that you should be able to make it up. And I will encourage anybody who wants to invest in Ghana to get on board because it's a country that I think you invest in it, you will not have issues. I think the policy that we have has been favorable in my view. Because if you look at, compare over the years, how we're mining in terms of our safety, there are a lot of improvements. How the Mineral Commission and its organs have been working hard to press upon all companies to try and then make sure certain laws are followed. It's an indication that we are on the right track.
With the right policies and effective implementation, the country is hoping to leverage on the existing sound investor confidence. Having attained the status as the preferred destination for doing business, Ghana, a hub of mineral resources in Africa, also has a huge potential of advancing mineral-based industrialization agenda by striking the right partnership with investors.
Recently, government had decided to, ensure that we add value to the minerals that we, produce, and that's one of the primary vision of the Excellency the President. To that extent, we have 3 major iron ore deposits in this country. The first one is found in Sheni, which is the largest, and the Sheni is found in the
policy space where, for example, there's going to be an adverse policy, that would be challenging for our member changes, so that we can jump in and have some honest conversations with such policymakers to ensure that these policies are not implemented in a manner that would adversely affect our member companies.
Since 1983, when the mining industry was restructured with enhanced regulations and supervision by governments, mining firms have associations like the Chamber of Mines to consolidate their gains.
Chamber of Mines is a mining business association. It's a voluntary mining business association set up to protect and project the interests of its member companies. You represent investors who have a commercial interest in this country, in the mining industry in this country. Our role essentially is to ensure that their investments are secured and not just fiscal security.
The growing industry has also created an avenue for mine support and engineering services. There is also the huge potential, not for only gold refinery companies, but other refineries.
If you are going to add value, then you need more reserves, because you need to produce more. To get 1 million tons of the refined bauxite, you need to produce 3 million tons per year. So once value addition comes in, then it will mean that production will increase, and that will create more jobs for the community and the country as a whole. And the royalties will be increased because more will be produced so that we can get more profit. So the value addition is key. Bauxite has been in the company for the past since 1940s. But because there's no value addition, you can see that we already run at a loss. So the value addition is the optimum. That is the best.
We have picked our plans based on the general plans and objectives of the government, and by the government vision that Ghana must be beyond aid within the shortest possible time. We are trying to play our role by establishing a refinery which is going to take care of all the raw gold that we normally send out. We will now have aspect of it being refined in the country before it goes out, and that is going to add value to the gold that we produce here.
Coming back to the Sheni iron ore deposit, the Sheni Central has a deposit volume of about 1.3 billion metric tons of iron ore at an average grade of about 40%, 40 to 45% iron ore. The Sheni South has deposit of about 500 million metric tons. Sheni North has not been studied at all, and so when further work is done, close to 2 billion metric tons. The deposit found in Upon Mansi in the western region.
Investor looks for. We are lucky we've had an extremely stable democracy, and we also have what I would call matured institutions. So by matured institutions, specifically in the regulatory space, Minerals Commission, they've been at this game for a really long time. They've put in place robust policies that govern, the sector. So when you walk in, you're dealing with competent professionals, you're dealing with a solid policy framework.
Our students are trained to the highest level by blending both theory and practicals. And I believe if you go through our laboratories, you see that we have the state-of-the-art equipment there, so that engineers are trained to actually solve problems. And so our students are problem-solving students. When they graduate, they are able to fit the industry, and the feedback we get from industry is that they perform very well.
Away from the gains mining firms make annually, they give back to the communities in which they operate.
Hi, my name is Joeria, and I am the owner of Fruit Fusion. At Fruit Fusion, we are into healthy snacks and drinks, and then we are here to help you with your weight management. So over here we have some of our products, and I'll introduce you to each one of them. This is day syrup made from Fruit Fusion. A day syrup is very healthy for diabetic people and can be replaced with your, daily sugar. Here we have the Fusion coconut shred. We call it cocoa shred. With our cocoa shred, is a very healthy snack because we combine it with cinnamon, and then we have the ginger flavor. Here we have our beet it. That's what we call it here. But it's this juice is very, very powerful and helps with BP. We call it beet it because it's mixed with beetroot and pineapple and a little ginger. This is our bestseller and also FDA approved. I personally love this product because of the innovation behind it. I know there are other products that are similar to mine, but I tell you what, Fusion granola is the best. Our business plan is really to reach out to everybody. We all deserve to be healthy out there, from kids to adults. We have seen how our foods have affected a lot of people in our societies. We entreat everybody, all the investors, to help us so that we can grow and then help people to eat healthy. And I entreat you all to grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana. Thank you.
The finance team is mainly responsible for financial planning, that is budgeting. We provide our budgets to Parliament for approval. We are also responsible for financial reporting. We report to Ministry of Finance, our supervisory institution, which is the Office of the President. And they also report internally to management team for decision making. The finance team of GIPC is responsible for financial planning. Our main mandate of attracting investment into Ghana requires obviously some financial commitment. So this division is responsible for submitting our financial plans to the Parliament of Ghana for approval. We also do financial reporting. So all financial activities that GIPC does is recorded, and this is to support management decision making. We also support our legal department in financial analysis of technology transfer agreement registration applications. We also in charge of procurement. The procurement division is under my supervision, and we ensure that all our purchases of goods and services are compliant with the public procurement regulations of this country. We also support the investor services division in collection of revenue. So they are the main investor-facing institutions. So investors do make payment for the services we provide. So once these applications come in, we do the collection of the internally generated revenue. So Ghana is a success story in Africa. We are a politically stable country. We have a very good legal regime that supports investment. We also have a growing middle class, and not just in Ghana. Because of the Africa Intercontinental Trade Agreement, the whole Africa is open to investors in Ghana. So our political stability is a trump card for us now. So we invite all investors to invest in Ghana and have access to the whole African market. To all investors out there, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center is open, and we invite you to come and register with us, both local and foreign investors, to come and grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana.
Woven co-designs eco-credential products for the home and interior spaces. We work with up to 200 female artisans in Bolgatanga. So we produce anything from woven baskets to woven goods for the home. We also participate in art exhibitions. We work with local foundations called Nabuke Foundation to create, cool exhibitions. So I've lived in Toronto, born and raised in Canada, primarily Toronto. I worked in retail for almost 17, 18 years before coming to Ghana. I worked in fashion, so I worked for Zara, some prominent companies in Toronto. I've been in Ghana for 3 years. I decided to come for family reasons, and I ended up just staying because the opportunities were great to scale my business and to just connect with my heritage. So I connect to my heritage through Woven. It actually started about 5 years ago when I was coming back and forth to Ghana. My parents had retired, and so I was always coming back. And so, I started going to the northern region of Ghana, and I was just in love with a different type of fashion that's there. So you have textile weavers, you have shea butter producers, you have basket producers as well. And so I just found myself just submerging into the culture, and I just fell in love with it. I actually didn't make the decision to stay. Like, it was never a specific date. I found that there was an opportunity here, and I knew how to operate with the system here, and I also know how to operate with the system outside. And so my customers are predominantly from North America. And so I just found that it was just a great place to be in. The weather was great, and the artisans were great to work with. And so we work with up to 200 women in Bolgatanga, predominantly master weavers, single weaver, double weavers. When you work with people who are from a marginalized community, you have to take into consideration the parameters that they work with. And so we provide skills training, we provide quality control, quality assurance. We teach a whole bunch of skills actually, and we partner with Scaled Up Africa most recently to provide a capacity building training for up to 70 artisans, especially during COVID. We also worked with Google for an I Am Remarkable program, and so this is great for the young, especially the young weavers, in terms of making positive self-statements, because it's not just about the product, it's about the impact and how your team is able to scale their life while they're working with you. So we also partnered with Oze. They're also based in Ghana, and it was a great way to introduce especially the young weavers that have smartphones on how to formalize their businesses, how to keep track of the straw that they use, their output, and also an introduction to microfinancing. Woven Worldwide is in the incubation stage. Our predominant customers are in North America. My goal is to actually spread across Pan-African customers, so to take advantage of the Africa Free Trade Agreement, and also to move into Europe. And with these markets, design and product are really, really important. And so the artisans that we work with are really keen on following spec and dimensions that are needed for B2B markets. My message to the diaspora that want to return to Ghana, I would say for sure, come. Come with an open mind, come with no expectations. Don't compare Accra or any other city in Ghana to where you're from, because Ghana is unlike any other country. Ghana is a fertile ground to start something, right? So when you do come, you'll see so many opportunities. Whether it's agriculture, there is a booming and growing creative industry sector as well. I would say just come. The success of my business is a clear statement that the diaspora can indeed grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana.
Chocolate More is an artisanal chocolates manufacturing company which started in 2019 with the sole aim of helping the president's dream of the consumption and promotion of chocolate and other cocoa-based products a reality. For now, we started with Cocoa Bites chocolate, which is already on the market. I can say for sure that we are number one in customization, personalizing, for every occasion. Could be birthdays, weddings, anniversary, corporate event, whatever occasion it is, Cocoa Bite chocolate is there to serve you. We have a lot of flavors, so depending on what you want, we can sit you down and then come up with, create that beautiful something especially for your occasion. The dream for Chocolate More is to see it as a one-stop shop of all chocolate confections and other cocoa-based products. In the next 5 years, we see Chocolate More being a tourist center where we have foreigners coming in making chocolates right there in front of them, and I mean being able to choose for a variety of chocolates that we have. So in 2019, I had the opportunity to attend the Young Entrepreneurs Forum, which was organized by GIPC, and this was at the period when I had just started the business. So it was very insightful for me. It helped me shape the structure of the business, and also to know what I was in for as an entrepreneur. I got the opportunity to exhibit some of our products at Salon de Chocolat in France on the ticket of Cocoa Board. Of course, GIPC too was there to support us. Chocolate More looks forward to collaborating with GIPC to open up our brand to the business and investment community.
Over the years, we have tried to promote the consumption of cocoa products with that unique feel of you being a part of it. So reason why we have always had customized chocolate, and I think that has been our unique selling proposition all these years, and it has really supported us on the market. Difficult to customize chocolates, but really that's what we decided to go for, and that is how we are selling as a business. We also do deliveries. We become a part of the celebrant. We make occasions memorable. Another unique feature about Chocolate More is our customer service and prompt delivery. Chocolate More, as a business, as a small business, has been able to employ over 25 people directly and indirectly within the last years of existence. We intend to employ even more, up to even, I'm sure, 100 in the coming years. After us here, and what you can do for yourselves as a people, as Ghanaians, is to take our cocoa and cross the barriers and bounds of this country and make everybody know that this is what we have. It is medicinal, it is unique, and that's why we're going beyond bounds with Chocolate More. And that's the dream, to reach out to all the African countries with our beverages. And once we've done that, the globe is our target. As an entrepreneur, I also believe in the Ghanaian can-do spirit, and that, of course, keeps me going. Chocolate More is an example of a business that has the potential to grow in Ghana. I urge every young entrepreneur to grow in Ghana and grow with Ghana.
HPW Fresh and Dry is an agro-processing company that specializes in dried fruits and snacks. Our main crops are mango, pineapples, coconuts, banana, and papaya. We basically convert these fresh fruits into delicious dried fruits for the world market. We started in 2011 with 15 factory employees. Now we have 900 factory employees at peak. The general workforce of the company, including farm workers, agronomists, technical workforce, stands at 1,400 across our 2 factories now. The growth of our business has been exponential. The principals have invested quite heavily in the business. Comparatively, from 2011 inception, where we exported 49 tons, in 2019 we exported over 1,900 metric tons of dried fruits. So basically, when we talk about 1,900 metric tons of dried fruit, we are talking about over 25,000 tons of fresh fruits processed here annually. HPW Fresh and Dry is a daughter company of HPW AG that has been trading in Ghana since 1999 in fresh fruit. HPW AG is basically a trading company that imports exotic fruits and vegetables around the world into Europe. The idea of establishing a factory in Ghana came from the principal's belief in the premium Ghanaian fruit and the intention to add value at source. Europe has the market share for our products. We also sell in North America, basically in the US and in Canada. We sell in the Middle East. We sell in the Oceania regions of New Zealand and Australia. We sell premium dried fruits from Ghana as far as Krasnoyarsk in Russia. We buy from over 1,600 suppliers, both here in Ghana in the Ivory Coast, in Burkina Faso, in Mali, and in Togo. For the community, we generate very important jobs. For the community, we have a lot of projects going on in the community. We are also the biggest employer in the district. We have a lot of projects under the certifications that we subscribe to, like Fair Trade and DEG. Our biggest selling proposition is one, our strength from our mother company in Europe that markets all our products. We have offices in Switzerland, in Lithuania, and in Philadelphia for the various market sectors that we have, or segments that we have. We pride ourselves mainly by processing with almost zero carbon footprint. As we work with fruits, the waste from the soft waste from our raw material sources, that is the mango peels and pineapple peels and mango seeds and core and whatever waste that comes out, is used in our biogas system and also as compost for our organic farms. Coconut shells are very well repurposed as a burning fuel for our biomass boilers, which we use to generate heat energy for our dryers. 30% of our electrical needs is covered from solar panels that we have on the roofs of our factory. I personally tell friends and colleagues outside Ghana that I'm happy to be a Ghanaian and born in Ghana and working in Ghana. The solutions provided by government over the years, since inception in 2011, have greatly contributed to the expansion of our business. The business climate in Ghana compared to other regions that I have seen in my short life proves that Ghana is a good destination for doing business. Also, the raw material system in Ghana has no competitor in the sub-region. We have very good raw materials here in Ghana that supports our business. As a company, we have 3 values, which is responsibility, care, and aspiring for more. Our growth over the years attests to these values that we developed from inception. We take care of ourselves and our environment, that is the employees, our suppliers, everybody in the value chain and the environment. We are responsible entity. We strive to do things in a legal way, and also we don't joke with the quality of the products we put out. We also aspire for more. We want HPW to be here long after we are gone, as a profitable business that provides jobs and security for people in the community, for people in Ghana as a whole, and all the actors in our value chain. I would like to use this opportunity to encourage all prospective investors out there that Ghana is the place to be. Join us, grow in Ghana, and grow with Ghana.